Good morning. Today I'm going to do a tutorial on slapback echo and how I get various tones and what I'm going for when I'm setting up my slapback. You know, in terms of the time, the intensity, and the kind of tone and effect that I'm trying to get. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put you over to a good old stock standard DM2W. I'll talk a little bit about that pedal as well and show you some of the things I'm looking for when I'm setting up a pedal for that nice Rockabilly or Psychobilly slapback kind of sound. Hope you enjoy, and remember I have a Patreon. I know I keep banging on about it, but it makes a big difference to me. These videos are free, obviously, so if you want to help out, you can... Dog barking. If you want to help out, you can jump over and contribute. If not, that's also cool, but like, comment, it really helps. And hit the bell so you know when I've made a video. Okay, let's have a look at the pedal and let's talk about it. Okay, this is the Boss DM2W Wazacraft. I really like this pedal. I use this pedal in the Sun Records show that I do, where we sort of do a whole bunch of stuff from the Sun Records catalogue. I find this pedal great. Actually, I've got a Keeley Memphis pedal, which is great for at home or in the studio, but it's a little bit too, it's doing too much for live, because live you have a whole lot of things going on, you know, within the room or different rooms and stuff. I find this to be an easy, reliable option. I've even used a Strymon El Capistan for a while, but the tape flutter and that kind of thing, which you can customize and stuff, but I just found that pedal a little difficult and often chorusy sounding when I didn't want it to be. This guy, he's nice and tight. It makes a great tone, always very woody sounding, and once you know how to use it, it's very easy to use. So really quickly, I'll try and get through a couple of things here. I'm going to put everything in the middle, just like this, okay? And let's just hear the guitar tone. Everything on the amp is just on 5. It's a Fender Deluxe, the treble and the bass. Okay, so that's just clean. We'll put that on with everything in the middle. Okay, so almost straight away, that's a really nice, subtle slap delay. That's why I really like this pedal. It's almost designed for this kind of stuff. Now, the actual way they've labeled this pedal is quite confusing. Repeat rate probably makes the most sense. The middle one just says echo, and this one says intensity. Now, most pedals, you'd see this called mix, that would probably be called time, and that would probably be called repeats. So if you've got a delay pedal that's different, just keep that in mind. That'll probably say something like time, mix, repeats. So you might even want to write that down, because otherwise it's going to get a little bit confusing. So with our repeat rate on this pedal, okay, let's start with the timing of your slap, and I think this is one of the most important things. That there is really long. If we're playing a fast song, it's just going to get mushy. So I'm going to put the echo right up. This is the volume of the echo, okay? I'm going to put that right up so we can hear that really clearly. So that's just messy. That's not going to work. Admittedly, the little intro thing I played before, there was a little bit of that going on. I was playing stuff that was, you know, the echo wasn't really keeping up with, and it was a bit mushy. So the first thing I would do is, depending on the tune, I would work out a tempo, okay, and find a slap that gives us a note, a timing that fits in with the tempo. So I do that by going. So I want to play a song that's going 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. So that point right there's a nice even slap, and it's almost like the slap back tone or the delay fits right in between. Okay, so without that, okay, I really love that sound. That's a great sound, and that's what we would call a quaver repeat, okay, because it's like, well, it is the 8th note, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, yeah, sorry. Okay, that's a really cool sound. You could shorten it slightly. It's always okay if you've got a shorter slap than the tempo. That's okay, that kind of works all right. But as soon as you go longer, it can get a little bit messy. We're probably getting away with that just because it's falling within the beat. Okay, that's like a 3/4 beat, like a so sorry, that would actually be a dotted quaver. So it's sort of finishing just before it gets to the next beat. We can get away with that too. As soon as we go too long, messy, all right? So you really want to keep it within that beat. And if you're playing a lot of quavers as it is, then you want to really shorten it up. You might want to go. See, I'm actually double picking that now. So we really want that tight now. Okay, even that sounds a little mushy. I don't know if that's 100% working. So depending on your tempo, let's go a little quicker. Messy. There we go. Okay, so a nice tight slap. That's getting towards the region of a double track tone. So if we go a little faster, it gets to a point where you're really just fattening up your tone, which is a really great feature too. Okay, a little thick for my liking. I'd probably want that a bit more subtle. So then I'd bring back the echo volume or the mix. Okay, it's very subtle. That's cool. You can hear it right there. That's probably a more better example. Very, very, very slight. I hope that's coming through. So yeah, so you really want to have a slap that's fitting in between your beats of what you're striking generally, or you could go a little higher and get that double track sound, where you're not really getting a slap in that scenario. You're really just getting a fattening of your actual tone. Okay, so now I want to talk. I'm just going to put that back in the middle for now. Let's talk about this one here. On most pedals, your mix will be at about 50%, or essentially it will match your tone, your dry signal. Okay, it will match your dry signal when it's in the middle. This pedal doesn't do that. Okay, because most mix pedals, if you put it up to here, it actually wipes out your dry signal and only gives you slapback sound. Okay, with this pedal, that's now giving you pretty much a matched delay tone, a matched delay sound. Okay, your repeat is the same volume as the note you strike. Okay, having a bit of fun with that sound. So on most delay pedals, you'll find the tone that we just had there will come from here. Again, another reason why I really like this pedal is you're never going to use a sound where you've wiped out your dry tone playing rockabilly or psychobilly. So this pedal doesn't really have that option because it's kind of aimed at that old school, sound. As you do get closer to that, what I'm going to call parody, you're going to want your tempo to be more accurate. If you're switching between songs, and that starting to sound a bit mushy, I'd be pulling that down if you don't have time to get that adjusted correctly. Okay, and it doesn't have to be like that. This is not gospel. You can really do what you like, but it's just something I like to do. So if I'm playing Johnny Cash stuff, you can get a great tone by really making that tempo close to that slapback, fitting in with the tempo that you're playing. But then, I might go to an Elvis song and it might be a very different tempo. So I'll bring that back and you still get a more room-like tone because it's a less consistent slapback. Okay, it's not tight and necessarily completely in tempo. Where if I'm playing something like Hey Porter, I can bring that up a bit.
blossom special, a little bit of orange blossom special there. So, you know, this comes into play in terms of locking with the tempo more for a Johnny Cash song. And then I'd probably pull that down a little bit quickly before going into an Elvis tune where I'm not quite as concerned about locking in. So I'm happy to have that coming back a little bit. I still want the delays to fall within the beat though, or else it gets wishy-washy. Yeah, just too washy for me. Yeah, I start to feel, you'll start to hear almost a little bit of a warble, and your guitar, the notes are fighting, the dry signal, the notes you're picking are fighting with the delayed notes. And again, if you're having that issue, you can pull back that mix a little bit and you're going to get away with it a lot more. Okay, so that's not too bad. Now, talking about this guy here, this can be a big problem if you have this up too loud, or too high. If you've got your repeat set too high and it's repeating for too long. Okay. Firstly, we can get that oscillation, but you can get a little bit of oscillation that's not permanent if you've got that up really high. And it can just be a bit mushy. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this up higher, you'll hear it better. So for me, for this style of music, that's just too long, okay? When you start having more repeats, you're probably thinking more along the lines of U2 than Rockabilly stuff, than Scotty Moore, for example, or Cliff Gallup, etc. You know, you want probably, if you want a nice tight repeat for this style, set it up with 1. Let's get our rate. So I'm going to play to that tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's tight. I'm going to pull that back just a little bit. I'm going to speed this up just a little bit more. I want it a bit tighter. Okay, a little bit less repeating. Okay. I'm happy with the mix for the moment up really high. It's quite intense, but I like that sound. So. If we're going to get into psychobilly territory, let's bring that up more, pull that out a little bit. Okay, let's say we're that's a much tighter slap because we're playing fast. We don't want too many repeats. We don't necessarily want huge, we don't want to completely match every stroke because it's going to sound a bit messy. And we want the repeat rate up fairly high. And you can hear that starting to sound almost like the double tracking that I mentioned. If we bring this right up. Okay. Funny, on a lot of that necromantic stuff, there's actually no delay that I can hear on a lot of the later stuff. The earlier stuff, he's got some kind of chorusy effects that could come from like a double tracking sound, like that. I'm trying to think now. I'm not sure what I'm trying to achieve there in terms of what song I'm playing, but just that whole sort of Ride Danny Ride, that really, that first album kind of sound, you know, you can get that really fat sound. Yeah, okay, so I hope I've shed some light on a few things for this style, and I didn't have a huge plan. I just wanted to play around with the pedal while you're looking at it so you can see what I'm thinking when I'm trying to set up a tone for, that rockabilly and psychobilly kind of tone. I hope you've enjoyed, and please hit the bell, subscribe, etc. if you haven't, and check out my Patreon for transcriptions and all kinds of things. That's it. I'll see you later. Goodbye.